Hello, dear children. Hope you are enjoying online classes and doing great things at home. So stay at home and be safe. So this class is dedicated to class 12, computer science, and in this session we'll learn something new. Something new means we have already discussed something about this topic in class 11th as well. But today we will see some more expansion of this recursion in Java. Today, we are going to learn recursion in Java. Recursion simply means to uh, repeat something multiple times, in order to produce some result or to obtain some result. So we can write recursion. What happens in recursion when a function calls itself in its body? When a function calls itself in its body, then it is called recursion. So one definition, let me write here. Recursion in Java is a process in which a method calls itself continuously. Okay, so this is called recursion. Recursion in Java is the process in which a method calls itself continuously. When a function calls itself in its body, then it is called recursive function. We have done so many iterative programs using Java iteration for loop, while loop, and do while loop in class 10th and class 11th as well. But here, without that looping part also, we can just repeat some blocks multiple times, depends upon the condition in recursion. Okay, so we can write one more line here. Met method in Java called that which calls itself is known as recursive method. When a method will call itself in its body, that would be called recursive method. And this is the process in which a method calls itself continuously, that is called recursion. Clear? So we'll go first of all for a syntax. How do we write this recursive method? First of all, let's see the syntax. So syntax, right here, return type, return type, then method name, then we can write here code, the code that I want to execute here, code to be executed, code to be executed, and then it will call itself. So here method name would be calling itself. This is, you can write here, calling itself. See, this is the method name that we are well aware how to write a method. After that, code to be executed, the code that I want to implement in this block, And then when I call, see, this method is calling this method once again. See, when we write a program, generally also, when we write a program, we call it using objects. As soon as we call that method with the help of object, automatically the entire structure of the method is being executed internally, implemented. So as soon as we just call object dot method name, everything would be implemented inside the method and we get the result. So here also the same thing happens. As soon as it will, this method would be called, again this method will be activated. Again, this method will be activated and whatever you have given, it will be execute. Again, it will come back. It will come here and again this will be called. So again it will go back to the main method and again it will start executing. So this process will be called recursion, or using recursive methods we can achieve this task. We did so many programs using looping constructs, iteration constructs. We repeated multiple times certain blocks and we got results. So the same thing we can do using recursive functions also. We'll see one example of recursion, how it works. Let's take an example that we have our class recursion. Okay, and then we have a method like static uh, one uh, like pro. Okay, this method contains something to print system dot out dot print, and then I am printing here hi recursion, and then we'll close it. Okay, simply a class you have taken, the name is recursion, then static void pro, and then we are executing this, we are printing high recursion, and then I would have one more method, main method. So public static static void in string public. We will call this one. Till now, this is not recursive. Till now, this is not recursive because I did not call this function once again in this block. So I need to call it here like pro. Since there is no argument inside, so pro, and then I would call this pro function. I can create object as well. So let me create object. That is also a way to call, but we'll go with the proper way. Recursion R is to new recursion and then R dot pro. See, this is a simple program using recursion method to execute this one and to print high recursion. In this block, see how it will work. When we are calling the main function, first of all, let's come here and see. It will come and print this high recursive. Then pro means again this will call this method calling itself. So again it will go back to this method and again it will execute. Again it come down, again it will call. So this process will go in finite time because I did not give any kind of condition to stop it. Clear? This function will execute this block, this high recursive, in finite time, and you know what error you will get? Error will be java.lang stack overflow error. Stack will be full. That's why here we need to give the base case. Base case is used to stop the recursion. Like condition we used to give in the iteration in the looping construct. So here also we need to give a condition. On that condition, this repetition of this block will stop. Clear? So I did not give this recursive function to stop this one here. But in this case, what will happen? In this case, it will come here, it will print recursive, again it will come, again it will call this one, again it will print, so multiple times it is going. Okay, so we need to define as a way so that after some time, after when my work is done, it should be stopped. So we need to specify a base case for this one. Okay, so what we can do here to stop it? It is okay. Uh, Let me write here. It's very congested, but we can write. Suppose we have here in class int count. Count equals to 1. Okay, and I can write here if count is less than equals to 4. So it means we are trying to print it 4 times, starting from 1 to 4. And then I will call this one pro here inside. Pro will be used. So now, see what will happen. After printing this one, it will come here, condition will be tested, condition will be tested. Okay, after when it is true, this will be executing. So again, we call it here, and after calling this one, it will execute. And one more thing, this count must be incremented so that this condition should be. So I can write here 1. It is printing for 1, and then count plus plus, because this definitely this count should be incremented. Then only at the moment this count and this 4 will be equivalent, and after when this count will increment by 1, it will be 5, and then it will terminate. So it will work from 1 to 4. So then it will come down here, it will print, and then this count will be incremented by 1, it will become 2, condition is true, again it will call this method. After calling this method, it will print again. So here it will print like hi recursive. First time, second time it will become 2, condition is true, again it will call. So second time also hi recursive, and then 3, condition is true, it will come and again to print. So hi recursive, and then it will become 4. After printing it will become 4. So condition is true, it will call this function again. So hi recursive, and after printing this one it will become now 5. Condition got false. So as soon as the condition got false, this block will not take in place. It will terminate, and this is your result. So this is how your recursive function works. Clear? So we'll go. We have already done in class 10 as well in class 9 also. To print from 1 to 10. So we'll print 1 to 10 using recursive method. Let's see how. So class recursion. We will have one main method here, public static void main string. We are printing from 1 to 10. So I will write here int, suppose var equals to 1. And we need one more method here. So let's close and then write here public. We are not returning anything, so public void printf, and We'll pass one variable here, uh, int, so VAN. Okay, so it will return something here of integer type. Okay, yes, and then we will print it. We'll print, or simply we can write void here, void. Okay, and then one more variable we can put here, int val equals to 1. So from here to start, and then we will, right here int val system dot out dot println uh, val. Okay, and then this would be incremented by 1 here, so that next time val plus 1. Okay, and then we need to call it also, call it also once again. So I will write here recursive function print. What do you think what will happen in this case? See, don't go here now, see here, public void print. Variable is already here given, it is equals to 1, and it is 1. So it will print 1 is incremented by 1. Since I did not give any base case, I did not give any condition to stop this recursion, it will repeat multiple the same as in last example I explained you. Okay, how it will work continuously. So here it will be incremented. Okay, then again it will call, so it will go, it will print. Again it will go and it will print. So we need to specify the base case here. So before that, I will write here if VAL is less than equals to 10. Okay, then what will happen? It will call this function pro. Sorry, not pro, it is okay. So to check the condition, first of all, 1 is there, it will print 1, then now it will become 2, condition is tested, condition is true, again it will call itself. Okay, after calling this print, again it will print the value of val, and then incremented, then condition, then again it will call itself. So this is how it works. So to call this one, simply we can read the object of this class, recursion r equals to new recursion, and then using this object name r dot new, you can call. Okay, simple. We had called this print, and we print this executing and display the result. So this method will be closed, and then this method will be closed, this will be closed, this method will be closed. So this is how your recursion method will work out. Clear? Okay. So we'll do one more program uh, to find the factorial of a given number. Isn't it? Let's see. In here, right? Class recursion, then public static boy you can reflect with variable like int. Again, we are equals to suppose 5. So we are trying to find out the factorial of 5. Okay. So later on we'll use this main method to call that function. Once again we'll create here uh, int will have we can return something int can fact. Okay, and I will pass that number int. Here also we can write number int number. Okay, so we are returning something. We are after calculating the factorial, we return to this calling code calfact. Okay, one more variable we need on top to calculate the factorial int fact equals to 1. So you are aware how to calculate the factorial. If we want to calculate the factorial of 5, it should be multiplied like this. This is the way. Okay. So we like if the this number is greater than 1, because if you multiply any number with 1, the result would be the number itself. So if it is greater, so here we will calculate fact that we have used here, fact equals to fact into that number. So at beginning the fact value of 1 into number that I am using here. So that number is, assume that number is 5. So 1 into 5, 5. Okay. And after that, we need to, after giving the condition, we calculate it and we need to just call itself also. So we will write cal fact. What? This number will be incremented by -1, because next time this number should go, okay, because at beginning it is at beginning it is 5. So when it will become 4, then only 5 into 4. Okay, so 5 into 4, 20, then 20 into, again it is incremented by 1, number -1, so it will become 20 into 3, 60, then again it will go 60, okay, and then into 2, 3 minus 1, again 2, so 60 into 2, 120. So again 120 into 1, same. So this is how it is working. So we'll close it after calculating the fact to be stored here, and we'll return it here. So return fact. We return the fact here. Fact. Now fact is returned to this one. Close this method, and here we'll call this one. So number is already given here. So just get the object of this class recursion ref equals to new recursion, and then ref dot, we'll call this one. Okay, so can fact, and we'll pass this number because it contains one parameter, so we'll pass this number. So now it will calculate the factorial of 5. See, we need not put anywhere, so I need to store, I need one more variable. After calculating, it should be stored somewhere, isn't it? It should be stored somewhere, because this cal fact is calculating the factorial here and it is returning. So this should be stored somewhere. So I will write here int fact equals to fa equals to res dot self-x, and then we have passed that number. Now we'll print this. That's OP. You can print. And space is provide you the result. This is closed. At last, so this is how you can calculate the factorial of a given number using recursive function or recursive method. See, we did so many programs. We did so many programs using looping construct. So try to do some programs that we have already done using different looping constructs. So try to use those programs using recursive method. And if you have any doubts, any question and clarification, you can give in the comment box and we will just again discuss the topic. So next time, again, I will come with the recursive to do some advanced programs and some advanced features also, because I did not tell you about how to store the data. It is uses stack. So in next video, we'll discuss about the storage and restoring and how the functions being called and how the functions are being stored in the stack. Okay. So for time being, just try to learn from this recursive, just do practices using the different programs that you have done in class 10 and 11. And thank you very much for watching.